No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Today I'm here with Enzo Amore.
Well, formerly known as
Just
Enzo these days.
And now, just Enzo.
At
Okay.
Real One, you can follow me doing.
Which I do. I follow a Real One. And
My
you have
dog.
a fascinating lifestyle going on over here. You got big drink in your cup. It's technically a rock star
big
energy.
Drink. I'm a rock star, right?
You're an energy drink kind of guy. You just go in the gas station and just buy them out.
Hit me a fire up, dude. If I'm filling up the tank in the car, I'm filling up the tank in the body.
Really?
Gotta get it, man.
But you never got into coffee or anything?
Oh, dude, I'm an espresso machine. Like at work, when I used to work in wrestling, dude, there's an espresso machine and there's just a line of wrestlers there.
Really?
Yeah, everybody's wilding. Everybody's flying high on caffeine, dude. You got a lot of lines you got to remember. It's a live TV show. There's no fucking rewind button. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's unlike any other. It's the last traveling circus. We do this every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Right.
And bless the guys that are still doing it. I'm happy to be.
But so
Yeah.
is there strong drug testing these days, and that's why everybody's on the caffeine? Like you can't just pop Adderall and do
Is
coke
there
and shit?
ever, dude? You can't do nothing.
You
man.
can now. It's
Get
really
drug
strict.
tested 12 times a year in the WWE. So shout out to everybody who thought I was on drugs.
Really? When did they start? Like drug testing, is super crazy because for all the glory it is of the WWE, it felt like that was one of the last places where you could just do a ton of steroids and it was all good.
Dude, right, bro? Honestly, like they had that big falling out with the steroid scandal, and John Oliver just did a piece on HBO where they touch on a lot of this shit, dude.
Right.
It's real crazy. But like their drug testing policy is stricter than the Olympics, so. They just pop up on you at your house or at the shows or at Monday Night Raw randomly. You never know when they're coming, so it's just not worth it.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, where you're coming from originally.
Jersey, man. Jersey. I was discovered as a rapper in 2011 in a YouTube video that I made.
Really? So you're a rapper first? Okay.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I was rapping in 2011. I made a YouTube video that went kind of viral that Barstool Sports posted. And then I had a friend that knew Triple H that showed him the video.
Right.
I got a tryout in the WWE and I got the microphone handed to me in front of Dusty Rhodes.
Wow.
And the rest was kind of history, dude, because I never wrestled before in my life, bro.
Right.
I don't know that, I don't know the ins and outs, the locker room etiquette, the way that, it's just, there's a whole language that I don't understand at that time.
Right.
So it would be like taking you, dog, and be like, hey, you're in the WWE.
Right.
Figure it out.
But wait, so why were you a wrestler all of a sudden just because you were good at rapping?
When I was a kid, I was a wrestling fan, and I made this video with my little brother. Shout out my little brother, Brett, B.A. Cinema. He shoots, as you know, shoots a lot of music videos for a lot of cats out here in Hollywood and out in Rolling Loud. They just came back from. So my little brother makes music videos for other people and stuff like that. So he got started by shooting me talking this shit on the Hudson River about the Jersey Shore.
Wow.
That got me my tryout. And it's just crazy to see where we both took it,
Yeah. Wait, but that was what your original rap was about, was dissing the Jersey Shore?
Yeah. I put this video out where I was talking about trying to be a pro wrestler because I kind of had this to get into the WWE because I knew a guy that trained Triple H.
Okay.
And so I made this YouTube video and I put it together at this gym and we compiled it, sent it over to Triple H. I got a tryout not knowing anything about wrestling and then got hired in the WWE, and the first time that I ever had a match just so happened to be on TV at a taping that they air later.
Right.
And John Cena was there because we wanted to have fans at the show. So then we were nobody. So you have John Cena come out when the show's over, and that keeps all the fans there.
Right.
And when I went out there that night, I just said, "Bada boom, realest guy in the room. How you doing?" And John Cena was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then he asked me to come out in that dark segment of TV that was not on air, and I was meant to be fired, bro. So I was meant to go out there, talk shit, be the bad guy, get my ass kicked and get fired. But when I went out there with John Cena that night, when he asked me to go out, I brought along my tag team partner, Kaz XL, one half of Free Agent Z now. Me and him are back at it. But at that point in time, Big Cass comes out with me, John Cena in the ring, and I call somebody soft. I go, "You're SAWFD, Swift?" And then John Cena was like, "What'd you say?" And I was like, "Swift?" And I just kept saying it, and the crowd started saying it. The next TV tapings, me and Big Cass are not on the show. But the whole crowd is just going, "Swift, Swift, Swift." So two guys that were supposed to be fired, the fans just kept saying our shit.
Right.
So the fans got us out there on TV, and we just went out there and lost every night. So, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know wrestling. I'm just out here, figuring it out.
Right.
And I'm like, losing every night, but the fans like it and it makes them laugh. And if it makes them laugh and it makes them feel good, then fuck it makes me feel good, bro. So I was just riding a roller coaster that I had no. And then to top it all off, WrestleMania, I wrestled the Hardy Boys, who I used to watch when I was a kid wrestling for the tag team titles. I go on to win 2 cruiserweight championships in WWE. And, for me, it was a fantasy that I can't believe was real.
This feels so hard to imagine this because from my perspective, like I've watched, documentaries and shit about like what it's like to become a wrestler. And it feels like you just have to go through these terrible years and years of struggling in the underground world. And you have to just get beat up so bad, or you have to be super, super muscular or whatever. Exactly. And you're making it sound like you just made a little meme and like you just boom.
Bro, dude, timing is everything in life.
Yeah.
I can't reiterate that enough.
Yeah.
I'm just blessed. I mean, I met this guy. He got me an opportunity. I got on off a YouTube video, and then the next thing you know, when I just happened to debut, John Cena is the biggest star in the WWE, is backstage.
Right.
So this is out of everyone's control.
But do you think that you just had the personality? Because, like, the physicality of wrestling is a big part of it. I mean, you tell me, but the physicality is important. The body that you have is important or whatever. But were you just, like, so funny and charismatic that they just latched onto you right away and they were, like, willing to let you bypass all the normal shit that people go through?
Yeah. No, they made it 10 times harder for me backstage.
Really? Oh, that made it harder because nobody respected you.
Yeah, man.
More or less.
It's like, who the fuck is this asshole coming in here off the streets of New Jersey talking this big shit?
Right.
The same guy who's willing to go out there and get killed by you motherfuckers for talking my shit.
Did you get a lot of injuries early on because you weren't really ready for it on a physical level?
Well, that's crazy. I snapped I just left. I just did a Sneaker Inc. Video that we do. Like Kenya Martin just did the last one where they talk about. They make a cartoon out of your sneaker story, and it's like a big production. And I just left there to come here. So I wore J's, dude, and I wore like a Mike Tyson getup, dude. I went to that photo shoot for that first day of wrestling, and I'm like, here it is. And they're like, no, it's not. You got to go buy spandex. You got to go get wrestling boots, or you're fired next week.
Wow, okay.
Fuck.
Spandex required.
I got to explain to my homies back in Jersey that I'm getting my ass kicked in fucking spandex. I'm looking at these guys wearing Speedos and shit. No offense to The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin, but goddamn Hulk Hogan, like that's not me. Look at me, motherfucker.
So there's no option if you're gonna go.
They tell you what your name is. They tell you what to say on the script, and then sometimes you get to tweak that.
They've figured out that people want to see men in spandex, small underwear, where you can see roughly how big their penis is.
Roughly.
You get a general idea.
Some of these guys back in sex.
So wait.
No, I'm playing.
But is that how it works? Like, have you ever taken a look at a wrestler and just been like, wow,
dude,
he must have a huge cock?
Sometimes you see these guys look like they got fucking inverted belly buttons, and you're like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? Like, put on a fucking pair of pants, bro. Like, no offense to my tag team partner, Big Cass. He was smart enough to always get that big patch, sewn into his shit.
Right.
So you never ever saw a Big Cass, piece. But the guy's 7 foot tall, so I'm sure he's got nothing to be ashamed of. I wouldn't fucking know, but you could ask, maybe around.
I mean, you ever just hop in the pool and then you get out and your bathing suit is just weirdly shaped to your penis, and you just realize that there's a grandma and she's looking at the outline of your dick?
No, that's never happened.
That's happened to me.
I don't own no bathing suits. I was always a mesh shorts guy. Everybody in town always had an above ground pool. If you grew up in a town that had in-ground pools, you and I probably have nothing in common. Okay, we're talking about above grounds.
So above ground sucks so bad.
Bro,
so trashy.
It was trashy neighborhoods.
I know.
We're talking about
where I'm from, my neighbor across the street had an above ground pool. I did not have any kind of pool. So that shows where I was at.
That was the party.
Yeah.
That was the party. Forget it. Pool basketball
they had
all
something
day.
I didn't have,
mesh shorts, whatever you were wearing that day coming home from practice and shit. It was a different day. I talk about that sometimes recently with a couple of my homies. I'm like, back in the day, you used to get your ass kicked. You get up, you go home. You maybe you fucking got to deal with the heat when you get there in school on Monday, thinking about it all weekend. Like, fuck. I was in school on Friday. I got my ass kicked. Now I got to hear about it on Monday. Now you got to hear about it instantaneously on social media.
Yeah.
There's not a kid in school who gets into some shit that somebody doesn't whip out a phone and start. You know what I mean?
Yeah, social media's ruined
crazy,
everything.
Bro. It's crazy. I wouldn't say it ruined everything. It just made everything completely different.
Right.
We're going to be the most important generation of all time. our generation.
Definitely.
Because we're the last people to grow up without cell phones.
We got the illest tweets.
You know what I mean? I was throwing rocks at chicks' windows to get them to come down.
Oh, yeah, I did a little
try
of
to get
that,
a little
yeah.
piece
Yeah.
back in the day. You know what I mean? Like that.
Tap
When
on the
was
window.
the last time that happened?
She's like, what the fuck are you
Dude,
doing
I used to
here? You're like,
print
I wanna have
out
sex. She's
You
like,
remember?
what?
Yo, you used to print out MapQuest directions, right?
yeah.
Dude.
I used to like look at the screen and just write down what it said on the screen.
Bro.
Yeah.
Circle shit with a fucking pen, print it out. You know what I mean?
When I
and then
think
you think
about
about
it-
these old wrestlers that used to drive around
Oh
like,
my
oh my
God,
God, road maps. They know every road in the country. You talk to an old wrestler, that's why you can't, like, I come on the show and I'm like, bro, I got broken. My little ass got kicked. I'm fucked up. No, I can't say shit. Could you imagine,
Right.
like, trying to explain that to, like, you know, one of these fucking old heads?
But so drugs really were not part of the lifestyle.
Not anymore.
Really?
Not anymore.
But
I'm
even
actually
once
about
you
to
got
do
into
something.
it, it wasn't.
I'm
it
about
wasn't
to
happening.
do something very monumental.
Yes.
Okay, because I got drug tested and we got fined $2,500 every time if we did pop for marijuana.
Right.
And that was not a strike. Anything else, your testosterone levels still being high, anything, they test for everything, you're popping and you're getting fired. So
Really?
could you smoke pot? Yeah, if you don't mind taking a $2,500 hit when they test you.
Right.
So it just wasn't worth it.
But wrestling, are you making enough money that you could just take a $2,500 blunt hit?
Wrestlers usually try to time it up probably like, you know, I'll smoke at the beginning of a month. If they came and they tested us this month, then I know I'm good for a couple weeks.
Right.
But like, I'm not going to fucking, you know, I don't know. Some guys smoke pot all year round, bro.
Stays in your
and that's
system
the
for a
thing
while,
I'm
too.
about to do. I'm about to come out right here. I got to tell you to the world, this shit helps me.
Right.
My body was broken. I got my ass kicked in wrestling, and I could not do pain pills, which led to all these wrestlers' deaths. I could not do, you know, drinking and become an alcoholic, which we see so many wrestlers go through, battle, and it just deteriorates you as a human.
Because that's the one thing you're allowed to do. The drug
That's
testing.
what
but you
happens
can-
to most
you
of
can
these
drink.
wrestlers.
Yeah.
And if you look at, you know, like the John Oliver piece and like a lot of these guys, I mean, you're on the road 300 plus days in a year.
Yeah.
And you can't do drugs. So what do? You drink, right? A lot of these old heads used to pop pills and shit and drink and ride the highs, ride the lows with drugs, and they're all dead, man.
Right.
And I'm so blessed to have gotten out of wrestling with my mind and my body still intact.
Yeah.
Able to, you know, have conversations like this. And
How old are you?
32.
Do you think that if you stayed wrestling until 40, that it would have done irreparable damage to your brain and shit?
I mean, if we're looking at CTE and all the things that they're saying, I
Yeah.
just don't think that there's enough out there yet, but it's coming. It's all coming. We see, and you know, there's been studies that say CBD coats your brain and it helps. And I know that we, you know, like for me, that I don't know exactly what it is, but you got ointments now that you can rub on your body as anti-inflammatory that I used regularly
Right.
when I was wrestling. CBD apparently coats your brain. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
I'm ready to have my brain coated, yeah.
I need that.
No, definitely. I just don't feel my brain has enough coats. But so you're telling me that this is basically like the
Throw a light vest, maybe a jacket on it.
so. But even people who like this is basically you saying that you'll never wrestle again because the WWE would frown on you smoking weed so strongly that they
Yes.
would not ever want.
WWE would never let me smoke weed, bro. If you look at, I mean, you look at, for instance, like a guy like Joe Rogan and people that you've had on your podcast. I mean, you've seen Elon Musk smoke weed on Joe Rogan, okay?
Yes.
So what the fuck is the big deal? When Dave Chappelle sells out stadiums and arenas and smokes joints on stage,
Yeah.
and I'm a pro wrestler, I get it.
Like
I'm a
half
role
the
model.
states
I
you
get
can
it. I'm a
smoke
role
legally at
model.
this point.
I'm a role model, but I'm not telling your kids to drink.
Right.
I'm not telling your kids to smoke pot.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking, you know, telling you right now that like this is a lot better than drinking. I'm not a big drinker. I don't go out and drink a lot. I prefer to smoke pot, relax, create.
Yeah.
I make music now. That's one of the main reasons why I'm here, as we sit here and talk about all that wrestling.
Right.
You know,
We're
I
gonna
got,
get to the music for
I
sure.
got discovered as a rapper in 2011.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I had to put that all on hold because of contracts.
Yeah.
When you sign that contract with the WWE, that first contract I signed was for $600.
600.
$600 a week. All right. I had to take out credit cards to pay off student loans and to pay my car payment. And I was making more money before I was a pro wrestler. So
$600 a week though. So do you? And basically, when you sign that contract, you're committing to be on the road.
you
for
can't have
all
another
the time?
job. So when I first got there, I was making $600 a week. I would show up to work every day at 5:30 in the morning. And any pro wrestler that's there will tell you I was the first guy at fucking work every day.
Right.
And I went to my boss and I was like, bro, I need to get another job. I can't make these ends meet. And he's like, you're a WWE superstar. So you mean you're going to be on the back of a moving truck and telling people that you're, a wrestler in the WWE? And I'm like, okay, I guess not. What was I supposed to do? So I took out credit cards and made ends meet. And I was sleeping on an air mattress. My little brother will tell you they came down to visit. I had no furniture in my place, bro. Like, I took a hit to go chase this dream that everybody told me I wasn't going to be able to do, bro. I'm 5'10", $185, bro. I'm not supposed to be the #1 merchandise seller in the entire WWE as a rookie.
Were you athletic before that?
I mean, I played college football, nothing to write home about, but yeah, like I was scrappy. I wouldn't, but for me, wrestling, the athleticism is important, but the entertainment is so much more important.
Definitely, yeah. Even when I was a wrestling fan, which was largely when I was like 10, 11 years old, but I was always super interested in the characters, and the behind the scenes that I didn't really have access to at that time. Like nowadays, I feel like fans can kind of like see behind the veil a bit more, so that's like an interesting part about it. But like I was never really that intrigued by watching these guys run back and forth and bounce off the ropes.
Exactly. Stone Cold Steve Austin made a living shooting beer at his boss because that's what everybody wants to do.
Right.
You want to go to your boss and give him the middle finger. And Stone Cold did that. And it's easy to relate to that guy. And they took it to extremes with incredible story writing at that time that was episodic. It was a soap opera. It was kept you in suspense. It was a different day and age because when Monday Night Raw ended at 10 p.m., boom, you have no idea what happened after that. There's no internet. There's no social media. Yeah. It's just like you have to wait till next week to see how this plays out.
Right. And it's like such a different age now. But you had a hard time fitting in with the culture of the wrestlers. What is the culture like backstage in those locker rooms?
The culture is extremely unique.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is unlike anything else in the world, bro.
This long a time.
You look over at any moment, you just see a guy punching it, the air and pretending he's having his fight. Just like, and then you see him talking to a wall, like, you son of a bitch, I'm gonna fuck you up. And you know what I mean? Like, you're practicing what you're about to do on TV and shit. So, like, you just see that all over. And I remember the first time I ever walked in, I was like, the fuck is going on?
Right.
Why is that guy over there talking to himself and this is normal? And this guy's over here just throwing hands at the wall. And then, dude, I mean, you get in the ring and you learn how to fall.
Yeah.
And you do that 1,000 times.
And these guys are like competitors, but they're competing on
my brother rolled this up for me, and he didn't do a great job. It was supposed to be the first fucking, smoking on TV ever of all time.
You want me to get my guy to roll one? Because he'll roll a fucking ridiculous one.
Speaking of got a guy, did I not come through immediately upon arrival today? Who's got a guy?
Head on over to @Len of the Plug on Instagram, and let's see if we can get it verified, because this is Enzo claims he's got serious connections.
I put it on the I got to tell you, I think it's going to come through. All right, I think it's going to be tremendous.
I'm crossing my fingers and hoping. If so, I will get her and I will repay you in some absurd way that will seem appropriate in comparison to what you have done, which I know is very vague.
You want to know a guy from Jersey. You always want to know a guy from Jersey because I always got a guy. Yeah, I saw it. You sent out a tweet right before I came in here that said you need to get your girl verified. DJ Relent says it. And I'm like, no problem.
Shout out to DJ Relent for making this happen. Was that one of your...
DJ Relent is one of my producers, but more importantly, one of my homies, bro. He doesn't need to be working with a fuckboy like me, and he does. He's the man, bro. He's so multi-talented. The guy can shoot video, edit video, make beats, connect dots.
There might have been a hair in there because I feel like these nugs, well, I guess they're just all weirdly connected together, yeah. If you want to...
That's why I don't smoke backwards, bro.
You don't? What do you normally smoke?
Swish.
You knew not to bring that here, though?
I knew not to. I mean, if I had one, I gotta tell you,
I've humiliated a lot of kids. A lot of kids will come through. I mean, I don't hate them, but I just like prefer not to. Or like a fan will come through and they'll try to hand me some like disgusting joint that they roll. That's like the most horrible looking thing ever. They'll be like, "I've been dreaming about smoking with you, bro." I look at it, I'm like, yeah, I'm not putting
Speaking
that in my
of
mouth.
dreaming of smoking, now that I'm out as a smoker, I'll give you a little scenario story. Right? So I get, I'll buzz this one out. I can put my mind on a treadmill. I can give you sound bites or I can give you substance. We can fucking roll this one out.
A little bit of everything, yeah.
I go to Dave Chappelle Radio City Music Hall. He has guests like Jerry Seinfeld come on, pop out, and it's unpredictable. Montel Jordan is playing It's Friday Night, and it's Friday night, dude. Shit's popping, bro. So I am reluctant to be there. I can't even believe what's going on.
Designated driver got the keys to my truck.
Yes. that's I feel like that shit still pops. If you played that in like a high school party on a Friday night, I feel like people would
That's
move.
timeless. You hear it when you're like 1 year old, and then all of a sudden you're 18, and you're in love with it. It just works.
Yeah. So this shit was popping. He threw this great Talib Kweli and a bunch of other men, ASAP Ferg, Mos Def. So I go to this thing, right? It's right after like a fucking wrestling thing I had to do. So I ain't got time, and I gotta have a wrestling match the next day at like fucking, like a big thing. So
you gotta get up super early.
Gotta squeeze it in. So I go with a few of my homies, and Dave Chappelle's manager is a big fan of wrestling, so I got to know him well. And so they invite me backstage. I'm meeting all these people rubbing elbows, and afterward, I go to the after party, right? And I'm standing there, and I walk in, and it's a who's who, right? And I'm like, fuck me, bro. I'm like, no, I'm going to the bar, So I make that move right to the bar because I don't want to, offend nobody. You know how it gets in that room. You don't know if you're supposed to be in that room, So I walk over to the bar, and I end up talking to this guy. And this guy ends up being a weed dealer to all the people that are there.
Wow.
And I'm like, this guy's the fucking plug. Of course. I go into the bar, and I end up talking to the plug, right? So I sit down with him, and I'm like, what kind of weed you got? And he's like, you want Maui Wowie? And I'm like, think back to Dave Chappelle, stoner, cult classic, fucking. He walks into the dispensary type facility in Half Baked, and he goes, Maui Wowie. Remember? Empties it into his shit. Yeah. I'm a fucking huge Dave Chappelle fan. I must have watched that movie 1,000 times growing up.
Right.
So I roll up some Maui Wowie with homeboy. And I walk over, and Jeff Ross, who's one of my good homies, one of my buddies, the Roast Master General, shout out Jeff Ross. I pull up on Jeff because he brought me there, and I'm like, yo, here, hit this. Next thing you know, dude, Dave Chappelle rolls up, bro. He smokes the joint. When Dave Chappelle goes somewhere, everybody follows. Now, I don't even want to tell you the names of the people that hit this joint. Really? It gets back around to me. I put it in my pocket, and I walked out, still got it.
Just because it was so legendary, because of so many superstars that
couldn't believe it. I rolled it up. I found this fucking guy. He had the weed.
Right.
It was Maui Wow. It was Dave Chappelle. He smokes it. All these celebrities. David Blaine.
Right.
Fucking I don't want to out all these weed smokers, but Talib Kweli, Mos Def, David Blaine, Jeff Ross, Dave Chappelle, and like a few other people smoked this joint, and it gets back to me. Yeah. And I just took it. wasn't a blunt. It was a joint. Right, I wish it was a blunt, but it was a joint. And I don't even roll joints, but I rolled this one.
Right.
I put that bitch in my pocket, put it in a plastic bag, and got it in Jersey.
That's lit. Damn, doing drugs with
that's what I'm saying.
Celebrities.
Like wrestling, I had no idea. I had no idea what was going on. I'm wrestling, but it's getting me to places like this, where I, live a little weed smoker dream. Fucking the guys like the Willie Nelson of my era, like Dave Chappelle, bro.
Yeah,
fucking Half Baked.
Crazy.
It was dope, man. That was cool.
Wait, so okay, I want to talk a little bit more about just like that world, like the backstage world. Like, did you manage to actually make inroads into being cool with all these people and getting their respect, or what was that process like?
I think what worked and didn't work for me in wrestling was that I never tried to.
Right.
I never tried to be a part of the locker room. Never tried to be a locker room guy. Never tried to be a locker room leader. Never got involved in the politics. I had a different happening than anyone else.
Right.
Bro, I'm a kid from Jersey, made a fucking rap video, got thrown in the WWE, dude. I smoke pot and shit. All of a sudden, I'm in this room. Most of these guys listen to rock and roll, okay? I learned more about that music than I ever would have in my life because I grew up listening to hip-hop. Now I'm driving around with guys from Japan and fucking China and everywhere in Europe and Germany, and I'm just learning about culture and life, and I'm just taking it all in. Like, whenever there was somebody new there, came in from maybe overseas. Like, I remember like one of my homies, this guy French, he came in from France. He tore his ACL right away, right? Like, first day, I'm like, he don't know nobody. He just tore his ACL, right?
Right.
So like, I was like, yo, homie, you need a ride? So I took him to the hospital, took him back, and like, I still talk to homie now. He ain't been with the company for years. Another guy from the show Tough Enough, like, he got a lot of heat in wrestling, all right? What they call like, the boys don't like you in the locker room and shit like that.
Right.
And I remember he got shunned and brought to wrestling court where you have a judge, jury, and executioner, and they fucking give you punishment and shit.
Really?
Dress in the hallway, no locker room, this, that, or the other.
They have a whole court system.
They have a whole court
Holy
system,
shit.
bro. So like right after that happened to him, I took him for a ride. I was like, come with me, bro. You good, man. Don't worry about that fucking heat, man. Talk about life. You know what I mean? I never tried to politic because the first time I ever went on TV, I was supposed to be fired. I wasn't supposed to make it.
Right.
I just said, shift. And the whole crowd started saying it after that. And I never had to politic because I always lost. And then that turned into something, and I was blessed to have that. But like, for that roller coaster ride, especially the beginning part of it, bro, I was fucking, what is going on, dude?
Right.
What is he talking about? What are we doing in this match? Can I just talk shit and get hit in the face and then fall over? And
Ridiculous
tag him?
learning curve, right?
Yeah, but by the end, dude, I was fucking based.
Based.
I was the fucking best.
Oh, you were the best. Base.
Best there ever fucking was.
But so you got huge, like the fans just fell in love with you, or like what was
Yeah, well,
this
it wasn't
process
just
like?
me, bro. It was I had a tag team partner and still
Right.
do. Like he's my business partner in life and shit, bro. Like,
Right.
like that's my homie. Big Kaz was
Yeah.
his name in WWE. He goes by Kaz with a Z at the end now.
Right.
CAZ.
I was supposed to interview someone today whose name is Big Kaz. It was not the Big Kaz that you're talking
Oh
about.
yeah, is
It
he getting hit with fucking copyright infringement from the WWE? Because I know my man did when he tried to come out as Big Kaz with a Z.
Oh, okay.
They sent him that quick letter.
Really?
Yeah,
He's an old school Big
cease and
Kaz.
desist.
He's a gangster. He's not
Gangster,
really.
yeah, he ain't worried about
He
shit.
raps, but
Who? What, Vince?
yeah. But okay, so tell me about this though. Like preceding the events that sparked off that would lead to you leaving the WWE. What space were you in your career? Were you super motivated? Did you think you were going to be doing this for another 10, 20 years? Where was your head at before things started to go bad?
I think that somewhere always in my mind, especially when you're living it and you're doing it at that level and you're in arenas all over the world every single fucking night, you just you think about wrestlers' vacation. You just know you're going to get hurt. You're just wondering when. I mean, it's the inevitable.
Are you
for
almost
all
looking
of us.
forward to it in a way? Like,
Some of us
I could
do.
take 6 months off if I fuck myself
Guys get
up.
burnt out, and they've got 3-4 surgeries lined up. They get burnt out, and they're like, all right.
And they just bang out all the
Gotta go
surgeries
get
at the
this
same
fucking
time and
wrist done.
take
Gotta
9
go get
months
this
off
knee
or what?
scoped out. That's how it goes, man.
And
And I was getting burnt out, dude. I was the most booked wrestler in the entire world, and I'm not just saying that. You can eat it if you don't believe it.
So that means you were on the road what percentage of the time?
I was
Almost
on
all
the
the
road
time?
probably well over 250, probably maybe upwards of 300, honestly, because I lived bi-coastal. I lived in Delaware because I was forced to live in the WWE developmental system in Florida, and I took no vacation. I never had taken a vacation. We got off around Christmas time every year for like a week, so you get that vacation time. It's almost like fucking college break.
A week. That's the longest time that you'll have off as a week?
Yeah.
Holy God.
I was booked every single weekend basically from 2015 till January of 2018.
Were you making a good amount of money by the time that this
By the time it was
got going?
over, yeah, more money than me and my family had ever imagined making, and the opportunities it afforded me, man. Or I would do it again, but like not now, then.
Right.
Everything that I did then, I would do again. Now, I just can't. I can't put myself in that situation where I'm on the road 300 days out of a year. I'm getting my creativity stifled.
Right.
I can't be my own individual. I
You
can't
just have
smoke
to-
pot.
you have to fall
I'm not
in
a bad
line
guy.
with
Like
the-
if you smoke pot, that don't make you a bad person. But I guarantee there's going to be articles written about me smoking pot, and that's fine with me. I wouldn't have done it if you know what I mean.
Right.
But for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it's just like wrestling. When you say something, you expect or elicit a reaction. So social media is no different, and you know that.
Yeah. No, definitely.